So, okay. So first thing first, let's start with knowing what's the status in your school regarding the subject biology. So tell me what's happening in school right now with the subject.
We finished the first, no, this from the second we started, and third is finished. Fifth, five chapters are finished.
Okay, so chapter first is I think omitted from the CBSE, but is
No,
still there.
No, we didn't take that chapter. First chapter we didn't.
You didn't do, right? Because it's omitted from the CBSE syllabus, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so chapter 2 to 5 is finished, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and now currently are your holidays?
Yes, sir.
So when will your school reopen?
August 16th.
August. Okay, so you have whole of the July and half of the August. So you know that chapter 1 to 4 basically are from reproduction unit. So basically those 4 chapters talk about reproductive systems in different organisms, right?
Yes, sir.
And chapter 5 onwards starts your genetics, right?
Yes.
So you have already done the 5th chapter, which is the fundamental basis of genetics, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So the batches that we are currently having at Learnivio, like my batches, they are also around the 5th chapter. In some batches, the 5th chapter is over and we will be starting with the 6th chapter. Whereas in some batches, it is still continuing, like it's in the middle or towards the end. In 1 or 2 classes, we will finish it. So Fatima, tell me, what are your preferred days if you wish to join at Learnivio after the trial? What will be your preferred days? Any idea?
Any days is fine. I'm comfortable.
Week. What about the weekdays? Is weekday fine for you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have Monday and Wednesday chemistry class. So.
Okay, so Monday, except for Monday and Wednesday, others are free. So will weekday, which means Saturday and Sunday, work for you?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. Okay, very well. So Fatima, let me start with how I teach. And basically in this trial class, I try to know the student and the student should know me. So as I told you, I'm from research background and I have a teaching experience of past 6.5 years. And the last 2 years, majorly it's the online teaching because of COVID. Otherwise, I prefer offline mode of teaching more because of that interaction that you get, right? Online teaching sometimes becomes boring because, if the students are not interacting, then you are technically in reality teaching to a screen. But it's okay, like my batches are fairly balanced and I enjoy it. So Fatima, tell me, what do you like about the subject? How do you find biology as a subject? Be very honest, like it's not like, yeah, tell me.
Compared to other subjects, it's kind of easy to learn.
Yeah, and but it's also, isn't it, compared to other subjects, it also has the potential to be boring very fast. It becomes a boring subject.
Kind somewhere,
because lots of things are there to learn, right?
Yes, sir.
We always treat biology as a theoretical subject where you have to just learn every line that you read and anything can be asked. So you go in exam, you should know everything, right? Yeah, and that happens most of the time to students, including me myself. When I was a student, I'm still a student of biology, but when I was in school and college, I used to feel that the way biology was taught, it could have been more interesting, engaging, discussive. And that's what I try to incorporate in my classes, because I always start with explaining students what is the right way to study biology. Now, see, biology mostly deal with 2 kind of questions. Okay, one is what. So you always see in biology, they are asking you, what is this? What is X? X, define Y, right?
Yes.
And second kind of question they deal with is how, right?
Yes.
How, or sometimes why is that happening? So how and why are basically the process oriented questions, right? They ask you about the process of biology, what is happening, or the mechanism, how is it happening, or why is it happening in the body. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So these questions are more important than this one, because if you understand how and why, what will be understood fairly easily. But this is the most boring part. What? Because there are thousands of things that you can ask what, like what is a pencil? For that matter, it's a legit question, which makes no sense. There is no sense to ask that, but it's a question. Now, what kind of questions, which are the bulk sometimes and becomes boring, I try to deal it through making students understand the terminology. Biology has its own language, you know that? And that is why most of the time, because whatever we learn in biology, we do not use it in our day-to-day life most of the times, right? We do not talk in that language. So it becomes very difficult for us. That's why students often find English easier as a literature, right? Because answering in that literature is what we actually do in our day-to-day life. Now, biology has terminologies like you have already studied some chapters. For example, cytoplasm, you know, cytoplasm. What is cytoplasm?
The liquid in our cell, something.
Exactly, right. And what is cytokinesis?
Cell division related thing.
Exactly. Do you know what does the word cyto means in both of these terms?
Cell.
Perfect. It means cell. Plasm means?
Liquid. No.
Yes, fluid or liquid. You're right. And kinesis means?
Division.
Division. Right. Perfect. So similar, if you know that cyto always stands for cell in biology, then if I ask you on the basis of these two questions, what is, tell me, what is the word we use in biology for heart? Cardio. Have you heard of the word cardio or cardiac?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Cardiology.
Yes.
The word logy means
steady.
Study. The word bio means life. So biology is the study of life. Cardiology will be the study of
Heart
and the system associated with it. Now, if I ask you, what is a cardiocyte from human physiology? What is a cardiocyte? Now, you don't have to remember it, mug it up or memorize. What do you think is cardiocyte?
Heart cell.
Exactly, cells of the heart. And heart is a muscular organ, right? It does not have any bones.
Muscular organ.
Does it have any bones? Does heart have any bones?
No, sir.
No. So the cells of the heart are called cardiomyocytes. The word cardio stands for
Heart.
The word myo stands for muscles. And the word cyte stands for cell. So cardiomyocyte is the muscle cell of the heart. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I ask you what is myology?
Study of muscles.
Exactly. And if I ask you what is myoglobin? What is hemoglobin?
Red blood cells.
Hemoglobin is the pigment that gives the blood red color. It's the red pigment that basically transfers oxygen, right?
Yes.
So it's called hemoglobin because heme stands for blood and it's the globin. Globin means the protein. So it's the protein of the blood. It's called hemoglobin. So what is myoglobin?
Protein of muscles.
Exactly. The same kind of protein which is there in muscles is called myoglobin. So muscles have their own specific globin. Now, these are all legit questions that have come in board or entrances. Myology, hemoglobin, myoglobin, cardiomyocytes. But to answer all that or to know all that without memorizing much, you have to understand biological terms, right? Because the terms themselves give you the answer. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now for this part, how I deal it in my classes is we start with, so you will maintain a copy. That is first thing you have to know. You have to maintain a copy for biology, and either the first few pages or the last few pages, depends on you. You have to leave those pages empty, either the first 4 or 5 pages or the last 4 or 5 pages. And in those pages, you will make a terminology section. So you will write biological terminology and its meaning. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So by doing this, by the end of your session, when you will study with me and when you will finish the syllabus, you will have a mini biological dictionary of your own prepared. Now, this is a dictionary that you have yourself prepared while studying. You understand?
Yes.
So you will not have to mug it up. And if you understand the words in there, then you will understand majority of what questions in biology. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And every what question is like that. For example, there are questions like, what is karyokinesis? You know what does the word karyo? Cytokinesis, you know. If I ask you what is karyokinesis, you can at least figure out that the kinesis word means division.
Yes.
You don't know what does karyo means?
We learned in 11th standard. I don't remember.
Yes, it's related to nucleus. First, karyokinesis happens. You must have studied this in cell division chapter in class 11th.
Yes.
So whenever a cell divides, it's first the nucleus inside that divides. Okay?
Yes.
Followed by the cell membrane. So first the nucleus divides into 2, then the whole cell divides into 2. So this is called karyokinesis followed by cytokinesis.
Yes.
So do you realize that through this way, it becomes easier to remember or to know processes, right? The next question that follows is, how does karyokinesis happens or how does cytokinesis happens? So this why and how question. So you understood the what part?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear to you?
Yes.
Perfect. Now the how and the why part, coming to the second part, which is how does these things happen, or why does these things happen, which is basically the mechanism. For example, explain in brief how spermatogenesis happens. Now this is what you must have studied in chapter 3, right, in your school?
Yes.
Spermatogenesis and
Yes.
oogenesis.
Yes.
Under gametogenesis.
Yes.
So there also the word gametogenesis. Genesis means to produce something. Yeah. And gametogenesis means to produce gametes.
Yes.
Specifically, spermatogenesis means to produce sperms and oogenesis means to produce oocytes or ovum. Yes, correct. You are correct. Now, to figure out that mechanism, we come to the second part. And this part I deal in the class through active discussion. Okay, Fatima?
Yes.
Now, because it's an online mode, you know, many a times in classes that you do online, you can just stay quiet and just listen to the class like a monologue, and at the end of the class log out with some notes and handouts. But that's now how I operate. Every student in my class is liable or should engage in discussions. So you have to answer questions, you have to ask questions, you have to discuss with me and also your fellow batchmates regarding any topic, give your opinions. Do you realize it? Do you understand it? Is it logical or not? Things like that. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes,
so
sir.
the more we discuss science, the easier it becomes to remember it. Remember any discussion that is active, you actually, in which you participate, you actually remember it for long. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For example, and also something which we actively are associated with. For example, when you're watching a movie, if you are watching it with focus, then you will realize that you do not have to remember. After the movie ends, you do not have to sit back with the screen, with the script and remember the script, what happened after what. You just know what was the story of the movie, right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And how do you remember that? Just by watching it once, you remember the whole story. How? Because you were actively engaged in watching it. All our eyes, our brain was processing that information right there in that moment. So same way a class works. If you are there in the class discussing, let's say, spermatogenesis, each step you are a part of, then you don't have to mug it up later on. And this is what I try to do. Okay. And because I can see that you have no hesitation in speaking, that's a good thing. And you will have no problem in the classes, I believe. So do you understand the teaching style,
Yes.
Fatima?
Yes, sir.
You like it? Will it work for you?
I'll try. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. You will try is enough, more than enough, what I need. Okay, so let's plan it this way. So for your syllabus, when your schools will reopen, you already have your exams, right?
Yes, sir.
So your exams and what all chapters have been asked already in your school exam?
They asked all these 5 chapters.
All 5 chapters have been tested, right?
Yes, sir.
So they will, when the school will reopen, they will start with chapter 6.
Yes, sir.
By that time, we will already be finishing chapter 6, but I still want you to start with me from here, chapter 5 onwards. Okay. Now, why I want you to start with chapter 5 onward, because chapter 5 is the beginning of genetics. And genetics is a very, very conceptual part, and chapter 5 is a very crucial, fundamental, introductory chapter where we study about you. So please note down certain things. You have, before you join the first class, like the first actual full class, I'm giving you a homework, okay? So just write these things down. You have to just from your school, so you can do 2 things. One, you can go back to your school handouts, notes, and NCERT. Second, you can write back to the operations team of Learnivio. There, you must be getting messages from a number, right? On WhatsApp or something. So you write back to them that you will need video links of my recorded chapters of chapter 5. Okay. So my lectures are recorded. You can get the videos of my chapters and make your own notes. Basically, what I want you to be completely like thorough and smooth are these topics. Laws of Mendel. If you're okay, if you already know it in detail, very good. If you have any problem, bring it to me in the class as a doubt. Okay. I take doubt before and after every class I start. So laws of Mendel and also the exceptions. These are very important. You must have studied incomplete dominance, codominance,
yes,
linkage, recombination, right?
Yes, sir.
So those are very important, especially linkage and recombination. Okay. And next thing is I want you to do is pedigree, mutation and pedigree analysis. Mutation, have you studied?
Yes, sir.
Yes, if you have finished it in your school, then go to your school notes and pedigree analysis, because this is a topic which is very widely asked in entrance, and pedigree analysis is associated with genetic disorders, right?
Yes.
So these are some parts I want you to revise before you come to the first class of mine. Will you do this, Fatima?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very well. So, and about the first 4 chapters, like basically from chapter 2 to 4, say from the first 3 chapters, we will not leave it, but we will sort about this during the classes. Okay, before you, because in your final exam, all of this will come, right?
Yes,
if
sir.
we are starting from here, we will not leave these 3 chapters. We will either through extra classes or doubt classes, we will finish the doubts of this chapter as well, if you have any doubt. Most importantly, the most important chapter in this is chapter 2 and 3, the plant sexual reproduction and the human reproduction. Okay. So I hope you have understood those chapters. If not, we will take it, but later. So we'll start with chapter 5, your doubts of chapter 5, and I'll try to put you in one of the batches in the weekends. Okay. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any specific or immediate questions for me? that you want to ask about? And also, see, in my class, you can ask any doubt from anywhere. It's not like the topic that I am currently doing in the class, you are only allowed to ask doubts from that topic. If you have any doubts from the chapter before, or even from class 11, some basic fundamentals, you can just bring it up. I take doubts, as I said, before the class and after the class. 10 minutes are given to the doubts. And we also solve question papers, previous year's NEET question papers in the class. After every major topic is finished, we do some questions based on that topic.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I hope this will work, and I hope we'll do good together. So hope to see you in the classes. If you have any questions for me, direct questions, please ask.
No, sir. It's fine.
No?
No.
Okay, so see you in the classes then, okay, Fathima?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.